Alright, so what I've decided to do is we're going to leave on the coupler as it stands now. We've seen exactly what that is based upon our measurements. So we're going to go ahead and bolt up our adapter plate. For that we're using some of these M12 stainless screws, cap screws, and our two freshly milled plates. So let's make some move on this. Now, something to note: clearance holes would be a reason for that. So this is this side. So let's put that on there. And we'll our cap screws down here. And this is this side. Now we've got 4 holes tapped in our main component, the adapter plate. So let's locate one of them. Put a few threads in it, let's keep it in place. And let's locate one over here. Just get a few threads in. Let's see if we can get the bottom ones to thread in there now. There's that one. Good. And this one here. Yeah, man. Talk to me, goose. Right. So let's go ahead and thread these guys in here. We'll have to get slightly longer ones because I kind of want them to be fairly flush with the plate here, but for purposes of, as I say, experimentation, this is more than satisfactory. Yeah, this is turning into a bit of an epic, guys. Certainly with the manual clutchless setups that I've done in the past, I'd have been cutting short in a day or two max, but not so this time. There's always something new to learn in this game, isn't there? Now, you're all seeing this, aren't you? There's a reason for that. Now I know that the so-called professionals, when it comes to adapter plates, tend to use dowels and all of this kind of stuff to locate them, and that's great. And that works very well. Unfortunately here we don't have a couple of $1 million worth of CNC equipment. And I don't have the skills to make that happen. But that ain't going to stop us. And some of you have been wondering what that scissors jack is about. Should hopefully start to make some sense fairly soon. I'm going to give these bolts just very gentle nip, just so that there's no visible play in our trusty adapter plate. Now, that's good enough, not going to go too mad with it. Alright, so, looking good. We've got our spacer blocks milled down. So, next move is, let's get rid of some of this junk from here. Got all kinds of stuff going on here. Let's dump them over here for a minute. We'll be needing the scissors jack, but not immediately, so let's leave it down there. Rid of the hex keys, well, I'm going to have to unfortunately now, folks, it's something I really want to do. I have to take this screw out of here eventually because the torque converter nose will bottom out on that. But before we do that, next thing we got to do, get our torque converter back into the 5HP24. So, time for me once again to do my Matt Halber impression with this thing. See if I can make it bottom out on the pump drive. Now, one thing that might make this job a little bit easier is if I looked at where the pump drive is. Inside there. Where are you? Alright, the pump drive is at about a what? About a 10 o'clock position. So, let's see if I can line it up and get it in first try. Alright, come on baby. That's it, she's in. Anyone would swear I'd been practicing at this. Alright, so, what is right hand? There we go. Torque converter's in. Now, this is the fun part. Oh no, it's not the fun part, is it? Because before we have the fun part, I've got to put a flex plate in here. So let's move the box over here a bit and get a flex plate. And some flex plate bolts would be a help, I suppose, wouldn't they? And some kind of a device to tighten the flex plate bolts. I told you guys I'm getting too old for this. I think I'm kind of one of these people that it would have really suited me to retire at 40. But unfortunately, can't really see that happening at the moment. Alright, where is my rawhide mallet? Keep those doggies rolling, rawhide. Here it is. Rawhide mallet. Okay. I'm going to need a screwdriver to line this up with which to line it up. Some kind of screwdriver device. Come on, baby. To daddy. There we go. Not very helpful, is it? Yeah, let's see how we fare out here. Oh no, bad idea. Forgotten to put on the flex plate. Just in the 1 in 10 million chance this might actually work. I'm going to put in all the bolts. We get more bolts. Never have too many bolts. Of course, this will be take some time for me to test out my shiny new air ratchet that I purchased in Lidl. Well, let's not do that at the minute. I have more pressing matters to attend. Now, on a side note, I've been receiving a lot of positive comments and feedback on the 840 CI project, so thanks a lot for that, folks. Alright, let's pick 2 of these and wind her in. I'm not going to tighten them. When I am tightening them, hopefully, finally tightening them, we'll hit them with the impact wrench to give them a good final torque down. And for now, we'll do just to give them a hand nip. So we're just going to tighten these guys up here now, like so. Nice and gently, just a little bit of a nip, just more so to keep the balance in the flywheel than anything else. Not that we are balanced here, of course, either, so. Ooh. That's pretty damn good, folks. That's pretty straight. It's a pity I have to take this bolt out of here now, because that'll kind of throw it off on me. But we do need to see if we got our spacing blocks right so that it presses in against it. So why don't we get set up? I'm going to have to change the camera angle a little bit so that you guys will be able to see what I'm doing, otherwise you'll just be getting views of my bald head if you haven't seen enough of that. So stand by. Okay guys, it's monkey and a football time. I've taken the screw out just for the purposes of assembling this thing. I actually think that might be kind of an issue for me, so we'll get a couple of those during the week and we'll come back to this. But let's just show you guys what we got here and see if maybe some of it makes sense. So when we're doing something like this, the first step is to try to make life as easy as we can. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate my torque converter so that I've got one bolt hole pretty much on the vertical plane. And I'll rotate my flex plate so that I've got one on the vertical plane, and that's right here where I can get it with my hole here for getting the bolts in. So the next thing we want to do is start getting Mr. Siemens and our friends from Friedrichshafen here to talk the same language. So never an easy prospect, even though they are both from Germany. Now, so this is on our torque converter nose. It wants to register in here on our 32mm drill that we described earlier. Now I'm probably going to go a little bit more like that. Told you, monkey in a football. Let's see if we can just rock it up here a little bit. There we go. Now we're rocking. Now I want to go this way. Looking good. Looking very good. There you go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Always the fun part, this. And we're kind of in line. Now we're in line. what you're hearing clunking there is our trusty RPM sensor, and that's kind of one of the things that we use to guide ourselves in here in the absence of a more professional approach. And that RPM sensor, very tight fit, or sorry, I should say, it's very little clearance. Between the sensor and the blades on the flywheel. That's what it is. There's just something very strange going on here, which wouldn't oh, there it is. That's not right, is it? Man, Damien. Looks like I didn't do my, I had this out a few minutes ago to try to line something up, but hang on. There we go. Now we're in. Alright. Take two. Should get a clipboard. Yeah, I need one. Clapper board, isn't it? Yeah. Clapper board. So they should begin. Yay, thank you. Okay. Uh-oh. But of course I didn't line up my torque converter. Muppet of the year goes to Daniel. Muppet of the year award. Yeah, come back to me. Hey, there we go. Alright. Might even leave that screwdriver in there as a guide. Back. There we are. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, that's where I need my clamp. Now I know what you're thinking. And you're partially right. But don't worry. Now, that is in no way lined up properly, but it is together. That's the first stage. Now, I can actually move our torque converter and flex plate assembly reasonably easily, so that's the first good step. There is now no gap here on the back of my coupler, so I've got these spacer blocks milled to the correct thickness. Woohoo for me. Now, next thing we need to do, got to look at our alignment holes, and they're way off. So, we got to do some lining up. But before we do that, we're now going to take the little bit of tension that we had on these screws off. So that everything is nice and loose. Lefty loosey. Now, okay. Time to get some bolts in. Let's start off with one of the larger 10mm. And let's see, oh, we're miles off still, yeah, okay. We're miles off. Miles away. Miles to go before I sleep. I ever see that movie, oh, what was it again? Telephone? Yeah, I think it was called Telephone. Good movie. Charles Bronson again. Alright. You see, we'll need a bit more leverage. Leverage is always good. Now that is a crappy TV series. Sorry to say, but it's just how I feel about it. Just didn't really do it for me. Like too much of a remake of the A-Team. Okay, there's one in. Let's get one on the far side. Close enough for government, I think, guys. Let's try one down here. Yay! Alright, let's see if we can get two more in, so at least we get the 10 millers in there. Let's see, I'm down here with a starter. I don't think it would be a good idea. Ball spot. Ball everywhere, really. And that one's a little bit fishy. Let's try this one here. Yeah, let's get a little bit of clearance haul on here. Yeah, let's give it a bit of a flick. A little bit of a flick. Yay, there we go. Yeah. Precision is our middle name. Not. It won't have to be too big. Our little hex keys. Here we go. Yeah. Here's kind of the amazing thing about all this that freaks me out about it a little bit. How come an idiot like me, and there's not one, not two, but now into 3 electric cars that actually damn well work. How come that's happening? Now, we're just loosely nipping them so that they can slide. We actually want them to slide. Trust me on this. Now, let's get rid of the clamp. Alright, now, next part of the game plan. Just get a look there and see that I've got pressure on my flex plate leaves. Leave us alone. This is the voice of the Mr. Ons. Joke. So, what the head torch isn't, because I need to see in here. Oh yeah. Okay. That's good. We got pressure on those flex plate leaves. Yeah. Actually, there's so much pressure on the flex plate leaves that they're actually driving the torque converter by themselves. So, sehr gut. Alright. Now, obviously, this motor shaft is not in line with our but they're damn close. Because if you guys look back when I was making this plate, how I found the centre of it, we'll know that they're damn close. So it's the play in these clearance holes that decides how far out we are. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in one TC bolt in here. So let's do that. We should have the TC bolts. 840 CI TC bolts. I think these are 16, if I remember correctly. They are 16s. I'm going to need my 3/8 drive socket set. Which is in here. And we're going to need socket, an extension, we should be ready to rock and roll. So, let's put in one, that's not a 16mm, is it? Yes it is, but for some reason that's not. Oh, probably picked up the wrong socket, didn't I? Good man. Right, they're 17mm. Sorry, my mistake. Right, let's get one in there. One torque converter bolt going in. Now, just put it in finger tight, just with the socket, because we're not going to install all the torque converter bolts yet. And there's a reason for that. At least if there isn't, I'll think one up anyway. Now, so the first thing we would want to do here is to see if we're near that RPM sensor. Now I'm just rolling the flex plate around. This is actually very nice so far. Oh, okay. That's actually, there's my next lineup, but I'm not going to put one in because we're just going to roll it around a bit. It's okay. We just turned through 90 degrees. So let's see what it feels like to go through another 90 degrees. Okay, there's number 2. So we've just rotated the assembly 180 degrees and it feels nice. Now this is where the real challenge is. Let's go for 270. Okay, 270 is good. Holy crapola. We've just done a full turn without binding. Sehr gut. Sehr gut. Okay. This might work. Wouldn't that be funny if it did? And we're not impinging on the RPM sensor, which is my guide, because that RPM sensor, the leaves on the flex plate are extremely close to that. So if you're even off a tiny bit, you'll just hear it zinging off those leaves. Das ist sehr gut. 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 Okay. Let's give our gearbox bolts just a little bit of a nip. Nothing major. Still in adjustment mode here, big time. think, do you know what I'm thinking now? I could be miles off, but I think having those spacer blocks, a little bit of play in them still there now, but ooh, that is interesting, isn't it? So we're not even putting the full pressure on that yet. A little bit of play in those. So let's nip up our motor bolts here, if I can find the flipping key. I just did with it. Just beginning to think here. Here we go. Just beginning to have an idea, but I think it'll probably be proven wrong now. I think it'll probably be proven wrong. Okay, still good. I'm going to put in a bit more pressure on the pump drive and the flex plate fingers. There's 90 degrees. Line up on the bolts is absolutely dead on. Roll around to 180, just using two fingers in there just to move the assembly around. There's 180, let's check the alignment. Yeah, we're green on that. Also need to put tread lock on those pulley bolts when we're putting them in finally, or not pulley I should say, flywheel or flex plate bolts. Okay, there's another one around. Looking good. Fingers are starting to get tired. Here's the last one. And we're back around. Complete 360, just using two fingers. And I did not detect it getting any more difficult at any point whilst I was turning the assembly. And that's the critical thing here that I was getting previously. That whole assembly was literally binding up to the point that I had to get a lever basically in here. I had to get a lever in here to prise it around, so that's obviously not good. Now when we come back we're going to show you guys just getting this alignment probably even a little bit smoother than that. But it's yeah, it's looking good. This issue here with the spacer blocks and my own error on the coupler could well have been at least part of where our issue was. But as we saw on our dial gauge tests, there is inherent error in that Siemens motor shaft, about 0.015, and we do have problems with those splines not exactly lining up, but I consider this to be progress. So keep watching if you dare.